They are figures walking through the night, bringing forth the images of an age of majesty and lore. The outlines of black crows contrasted with the art in the contemporary setting. These images evoke stories of mystery and adventure. The figures are the dancers of the Ballet Folklorico who have assembled to bless the art, artists, gallery, and attendees in a famous and upscale gallery in Palm Desert, California. The Latin rock group Quetzal is to be the main musical component for the Day of the Dead celebration. The Day of the Dead. El Día de los Muertos. A celebration of family and life. The Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead has become the most celebrated Hispanic holiday in the world. It is a day when the souls of the ancestors are not something to fear, but to embrace with fond memories. The Day of the Dead is a celebration of life through the building of altars, skulls, masks, food, candles, and joyful trips to the cemeteries. The Day of the Dead has become a celebration for those we love and respect. The dates of this custom spans from October 31st, November 1st, and November 2nd. The Day of the Dead is celebrated with an emphasis first on the children and then the adults. Although the adult souls may begin arriving at their loved ones' homes any time on the night of October 31st, All Saints' Day, November 1st, is for the angelitos, or little children. It is on this date on which the souls of the children return and are honored guests. In some communities, people confuse Halloween with the Day of the Dead because of the calendar overlap. Whereas Halloween celebrates ghouls and goblins from the Celtic culture, Day of the Dead remains a celebration of family and life, dedicated to the lives and memories of our loved ones. While the origins of the Day of the Dead are indigenous to pre-Hispanic cultures such as the Aztecs, Mayans, and Incas, the ceremonial customs are different among the more pagan groups. The dates of November 1st and 2nd coincide with the Catholicized communities of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. Its appeal to the English-speaking population is because of its combination of joyous celebration of art, food, dance, music, and joyful celebration of loved ones. The cultural capital in Mexico for Day of the Dead is Oaxaca. Oaxaca, Mexico celebrates the Day of the Dead in a colorful and dynamic way with historical roots of archaeological digs and pyramids, and attracts thousands of people from the U.S. and is to the Day of the Dead what New Orleans is to Mardi Gras.
What made Day of the Dead happen? And what was it in the Hispanic people, the people of Mexico, what was it that made them choose to hang on to their Aztec beliefs and cultural practices?
It's not intended to be morbid, it's intended to be a celebration.
It's a way of celebrating life.
It is a day that focuses upon the deceased loved ones, altars or ofrendas adorned with their favorite delicacies, beverages, flowers, photographs, and mementos.
Cuando el sol y la luna se van pasando, el tiempo parece parar, pensando en uno el otro en ese momento, solo ellos y nadie más. En la luna desesperada, romántico una vez, y el sol desesperado de la distancia la quiere ver. Ay, la luna brilla bonito, grande y hermoso espíritu ven, y la mira el sol.
It is a day that focuses upon candied skulls, mole, pan de muertos or dead bread, rice pudding. All these elements make up the celebration of the Day of the Dead.
Llega la noche entre las estrellas.
It is a religious processional celebrating the first of the 2-day celebration of the Day of the Dead. It is a day which the souls of the children return to their loved ones. In Orange, California, the parishioners of the Diocese of Orange go to the Holy Sepulchre Cemetery to celebrate the return. This is a ceremony that is respectful, but above all else, joyful to the celebrants. The next day is a celebration for the souls of the adults. The altars are adorned with marigolds, a traditional flower of the dead, and the paths are laced with marigold petals to welcome their return. From Orange County, California to Oaxaca, Mexico, families gather at grave sites and await the returns of their loved ones. It is a celebration of the lives well lived by friends and family.
Y la mira el sol.
The figures are the dancers of the Ballet Folklórico de Riverside, who have assembled to bless the art, artists, gallery, and attendees in a famous and upscale gallery in Palm Desert, California.
Ya no, ya no. Tiene miedo, miedo. Ya no tiene miedo.
The appeal of good food, drink, art, and festive celebration would also be a strong magnet.
Ya no tiene miedo.
The reception to the Day of the Dead in the Coachella Valley in 2003 was overflowing with thousands of people from all segments of the community in attendance.
Because the Day of the Dead ofrenda, which is the table in which you put the person's picture there, and then you put things that were meaningful to that person. So it might be somebody's favorite jacket, or it might be someone's favorite food, or it might be their favorite booze, anything. Because remember, in this case, these are things that would be enjoyed by the dead person. And so they're supposed to supposedly be able to drink and smoke with impunity. So if they like to smoke in their life, cigarettes would be important. So it's really interesting because as you start to think about the little nuances of that person, you remember them in much more three-dimensional form than you would if you just looked at their picture.
Nothing represented the response to the Day of the Dead more so than the community of artists building altars that were put up to commemorate the lives and memories of respected loved ones. During this time of reverence, people are honoring the loved and respected people in their lives by placing on the altars the items such as pictures, music, clothing, food, flowers, and one's favorite drink, and other items indigenous to that person's life. Nothing could represent the essence of an altar reflecting the lives and time of an individual than the altar built to commemorate the man in black, Johnny Cash. From his guitar to his CDs to pictures and CDs of June Carter Cash. The altar represents a living testimonial to the legacy of Johnny Cash.
Clearly feel, make
Day of the Dead is actually a 3-day celebration in which families remember their loved ones who have died. So if you don't know anything about Day of the Dead, all you need to know is that these are days when we look at pictures of people that we love that we have died, and oftentimes this is someone who has died relatively recently. We remember their particular little habits, the things that they liked. And I think for Americans who really have lost people near and dear to them, this time of year will always bring back that reflection, and perhaps each year you memorialize or think about a different loved one you have lost. It's not always the same person. And so that each year this sort of recollection process becomes a healing process in a way in which we cope with grief and loss. But also, it dates back to this primal thing about remembering the ancestors that we find in cultures all over the world, not just in Latin America, but everywhere. And here in the States, we've really lost it. So Day of the Dead is a great way, I think, to recover all of that ancient stuff and to remember in a positive, fun, festive way.
When you're young, you're so afraid of death. And I think that a celebration such as this has really helped me accept my mortality, for one, and accept the fact that my loved ones are also mortal. And that for those reasons, I think that you remind yourself on this day, not only to remember the people that maybe you never met that have passed away, but without them, you wouldn't really be here. And it's a way of celebrating life, in thinking about your own mortality and thinking about your own death, and at the same time remembering people that have been tragically taken from us, you know, especially people that don't get any justice within their death. So it's just, if you think about life, if you think about death, it could encompass so many things, and I feel that that's what Day of the Dead is. It's everything from life, just the beauty of living life, and also as tragic as a life that was taken before its time.